Welcome to your weekly astrology forecast. My name is Adeana. I'm an intuitive astrologer, and in these weekly videos, we go over the astrological energies for the week ahead. In this video, we will be going over the energy for February 10th to the 16th, 2025. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you align with my energy and enjoy my content. I also now have a link below because I've had a couple people ask about supporting the work that I do on the social media platforms. So I now have a link below and in my page on my channel if you would like to support the work that I do. So regarding this 2025 Canadian forecast, I over the weekend was playing around with a couple birth charts for Canada because the one that I've been using for a few years, and I can't remember where I got the time from, but it just aligned with me because I felt like the energy that showed up in that chart represented Canada quite well. However, going back and doing some history on Canada for this forecast and then playing around with a couple of dates. So on like July 1st at 12 a.m. is officially when it was the decision that Canada would be born. So, but that puts Aries in the first house. And I'm like, does that work? And then, so I played around with some dates in March where, which was when there was the meeting and the papers were signed for Canada. And then March 31st was when the Queen signed off on it. So I even played around with those dates. Anyways, to make a long story short, I have decided to use the 12 a.m. birth date for Canada, which does put Aries in the first house. And I just wanted to let you guys know that because you'll see that I'm using now a different birth chart for Canada from previous videos that I've put on my channel. And I just wanted to clarify that. And I'll also put this in the 2025 forecast as well. But it's quite interesting. And when you really go back on the history for Canada and past events and compare it to the chart and transits, it does align nicely with things that were going on. So I did decide to use the 12 a.m., which is officially when Canada, what the decision was for, July 31st, 12 a.m. Now this is the Dominion of Canada. Okay, so I just wanted to note that. Now let's get into the energies. Oh, and also, before we get into the energies, I just want to let you guys know that I am in the process of creating new sessions where I'm going to do something new. I've always offered pre-recorded readings, but now I am structuring these readings so that they are learning tools for you where I actually demonstrate and show you how I am coming to the predictions and determining the energies within your chart so that you can use these videos and these pre-recorded sessions for learning tools on how to this will teach you how to determine and discover energies that you will be navigating on a day-to-day basis, how to interpret transits, solar return readings, lunar return readings. I don't just want to, I'm kind of shifting things in my business where I don't just want to offer one-on-one consultations, which I'm not doing anymore. Everything's pre-recorded. But I'm teaching people how to do this yourself so that you can use astrology on a daily basis because it's such a magnificent tool and it helps us in so many ways. And so I've listed some sessions below, pre-recorded sessions where they're structured exactly the same as my YouTube videos. And I structure these in a way where we're basically just going over your charts and your energy. So yes, I'm excited about that. And I am also going to be adding in my course that I have been working on for years. And so for an additional cost, my course will be added into these personalized demonstration videos. So I'm super excited about all these ideas that I've had with this Mercury Cazimi. Really, yesterday, because I wasn't really feeling the greatest yesterday, and which is why I'm recording this like super early Monday morning and getting this out there, because I wasn't really feeling the greatest yesterday. Mercury is my chart ruler. But we also want to remember that now Mercury is the dispositor of the South Node. So with all these Mercury transits, there's going to be things showing up in our life, whether it's thoughts, ideas, insight, whatever, kind of paving a new path for us where we're like, okay, we want to let go of this that's no longer in alignment, and we want to start moving in this direction, because it is the dispositor. Mercury is the dispositor of Virgo, which is where we have the South Node currently. And this is all very much karmic energy, which is playing a role in our destiny and what is now in alignment with us and what is now not in alignment. So we really want to pay attention to what's showing up for us and follow our intuition. So this week we have our full moon in Leo at 24 degrees. If you haven't, check out the full moon forecast, which I will put up here in the video. I did go into Canada's chart and all 12 rising signs. So make sure you check that out. And I analyze the chart for the lunation, which I do in all my videos. But I wanted to touch a little bit on this Neptune North Node influence for a minute before we get into the weekly energies, because this is where we really want to be tapping into our creativity. That is part of this Neptune North Node Pisces journey. You know, there's a lot of creative energy, and also this Leo influence that we're going to have this week. Leo rules our creative self-expression. And so this week, we really want to be tapping into our creativity and creating whatever it is that we are aligning with in this moment. Where, yes, Neptune can be illusionary, and where we can over idealize people and situations and experiences. So we always want to have that self-awareness when we're talking about Neptune. But what we do want to utilize this energy for is our creativity and spirituality, our spiritual practice, our intuition, and really diving into that element of Neptune at this moment, I believe, is crucial, because we have so much potent Neptune energy with the North Node conjunction, which, yes, Neptune has already passed over the North Node and is a degree, almost a degree away. We're still kind of in that energy because Neptune is such a slow moving planet that when it does touch the points or conjunctions, it exudes that energy a lot longer than the personal planets because they move so fast. Now, I already kind of touched on the Mercury Cazimi, which I did want to touch on at the beginning of this video, which was on the 9th, on Sunday, yesterday, and that was at 21 degrees of Aquarius. And Aquarius, it literally rules innovation and new ideas. So again, pay attention to spontaneous ideas and insight that you can be getting yesterday. Today, I always recommend journaling, kind of anything that's coming to you, because it may not seem significant in the moment, but it can definitely be significant down the road. Where, and you know what I mean when I say, you know, thoughts, or you're listening to music, or you're watching a TV show and something stands out, whether it's a line that is said or a word, something stands out and you're not sure why, you know, jot it down, because those little kind of insights or sporadic downloads can, or little, they're even like messages from the universe. They can definitely come in later on down the road, where they may not seem significant now, but then you're like, oh, that's why that happened, or that's why I thought that, or that's why that stood out to me. So on Monday today, we have the moon entering Leo. So we really start to get into this full moon energy. You know, we're going to have the moon in Leo Monday, Tuesday, and then Wednesday, halfway through the day. Our full moon in Leo is around 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And then the moon will enter Virgo later on the day, Wednesday. So we're in this moon and Leo energy today, tomorrow, Wednesday. So we want to utilize this creative self-expression, really bringing in some confidence for expressing what it is you're aligning with in this moment. Whatever it is that you are being pulled to create, you want to harness the energy that we have now, gain that courage, gain that confidence, and start creating. Create. That is just the energy that I am in and kind of like move. And I really want to promote that for all of you. You know, we just have so much creative energy right now that we want to jump on and utilize. We want to keep in mind too that as the moon transits through Leo for the next 20 years, the moon's going to make an opposition to Pluto in Aquarius, because Leo is the opposite sign of Aquarius. So today we will have that opposition at 2 degrees, which can bring a mixed bag, right? Because Pluto can rule, like the moon represents our instincts, our habits, our emotions and feelings and internal world. And Pluto rules a really in-depth, magnetic, psychic energy. Pluto can also represent revealing and uncovering and exposing and things like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if we hear something today, which there has been so much, which I was going to get into with all this Uranus energy, because we also have Mercury squaring Uranus. So today, having the moon in Leo opposite Pluto with Mercury square Uranus, I wouldn't be surprised if we hear more crazy news about USAID for Americans. And then there's other countries now focusing on organizations and institutions that are similar to USAID in their country. So I know Canada has one for my fellow Canadians. If you watched my forecast that I just put up, I linked videos down below. It was the full moon forecast, I believe, for Leo. I linked videos in the description below that I really recommended that you all watch, because it was kind of uncovering some of the things going on in Canada in similar organizations. So we can hear more about that today for sure, with this Mercury square Uranus. But with Mercury ruling our mind, our mindset, communication, we do want to watch for anxiety. Uranus rules the electrical systems in our body, and Mercury is our mind. So this is where we can have, where our mind can be racing. It can be hard to focus on one thing. It can be, there's also a lot of fixed energy too, which can create stubbornness, not wanting to budge, not wanting to shift. But Uranus is forcing the shift. Uranus is shaking us out of our comfort zone and really having us, to be completely honest, really having us become uncomfortable. And I don't want to say like scared or worried, but I kind of, like I mentioned in my full moon forecast, it's like all of the elements of the world that we rely on for stability and security and comfort are almost falling apart or being exposed or uncovered with things that we were unaware of, which then makes us uncomfortable. It makes us feel less secure and stable in our country or in our world. And so, and this is kind of the energy that we're in. I really do recommend, if you are a place in the world where you can do some grounding or have a mat, because I'm in Canada and we just got dumped on with a pile of snow. So I won't be going outside to get my feet on the earth, unfortunately, which I cannot wait, because I tend to get seasonal depression being in Canada, like January, February. By the end of February, I'm like, I need the sun, but I'm born in August. I am a Leo. So I very much like the sun is my ruling planet. I actually have 3 personal planets in Leo, and I'm a Taurus moon, so I have a lot of fixed energy in my chart personally. So I know how to deal with this fixed, stubborn energy, because that is me. But yeah, I tend to get seasonal depression around this time, because it's just, I need the sun. We need our vitamin D. I do want to invest in one of those earthing mats, because I think I definitely need that through the winter time. But this is a time where we just want to try to calm ourselves. We want to release some of that anxiety, some of that worry, some of that stress, because again, that is part of this Virgo South Node energy as well, learning how to, and this really all ties in together. Learning how to trust the universe, you're learning how to trust in general, and releasing that need to control, releasing that fear, and releasing the need to control specific outcomes. So today we just want to be mindful of that with the Mercury square to Uranus, that we can feel a little anxious. Meditate, do what it is you do to kind of relax and ease that stress or fear, whatever it is that you're moving through at the moment. I did make a note here in my notes. All this Uranus energy is really shattering our reality in a lot of ways. Structures, institutions, organizations we thought we could trust, which I already kind of touched on. But when I sit down with my intuition for these forecasts, I just kind of jot down what comes to me, and then I relay them in the videos. But that's one of the things I put down, because it really is this. We've had a lot of connections to Uranus lately, plus we just had Uranus station direct in Taurus, and this Uranus and Taurus transit has completely shifted our views. I think like it's changed our money systems, like our banking institutions and our food supply chain, and that is what Taurus rules. All of those material things in the world that we rely on for stability, security, and comfort. Now, I also wanted to touch on this Venus and Aries energy. Venus is still pre-shadow, so I will be posting a Venus retrograde forecast getting into all 12 rising signs. So this is where, again, you want to pay attention to what is showing up at this time when it has to do with self-love, self-worth, confidence, which, by the way, all this Leo energy we want to be tapping into for that. We want to be tapping into this energy for self-confidence and courage to do whatever it is that you're doing in your own world, and start moving that forward, start implementing it, start taking those next steps. We want to utilize this energy Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday to start doing that. So, but with Venus and Aries, this is a very impulsive, fiery energy. It's Aries. It's ruled by Mars. Mind you, Mars is still retrograde in Cancer. We are getting closer though to that Mars station, which in my next forecast for the following week, we will be talking about that, because Mars is going to station direct February 23rd. We've been in this Mars retrograde energy. Mars stationed retrograde December 6th, but Mars entered pre-shadow beginning of October. So we've really been in this energy for quite some time. So that's going to be nice. That's going to be an energy shift. And a lot of this Mars retrograde energy in Cancer has brought up stagnant emotions, old traumas around family dynamics, also around relationships. I talked a lot about this a few weeks ago. Where that sextile to Uranus was like really bringing up stuck emotions within, so you could release that emotional baggage and start moving in this new direction with a clear slate, in a sense, karmically and emotionally. And so that's what I feel like a lot of this Mars retrograde energy in Cancer has brought up. Now, with the Venus and Aries, this is where Venus and Aries is a little bit more aggressive, assertive, impulsive, fiery. It can be a little bit dimmed down, I would say, because Mars is in Cancer, but not a whole lot. I mean, it is going to have an influence, but it still harnesses that Aries energy. So this is where we can utilize, Venus is at fall in Aries, which we have a lot of planets at fall. We don't have a lot of planets in positions of having the proper tools they need to exude their natural energy and exude their highest energy, their highest form energy, which also can contribute to feeling a little bit energetically depleted, feeling like you don't have the proper tools to move forward with certain elements of life. And but my main focus for this Venus in Aries is because Venus is pre-shadow, and I want you to pay attention to certain things showing up for you around relationships, around money and finances, around self-love, self-worth, self-confidence, because we will be revisiting, reassessing these themes and topics during the Venus retrograde, which Venus is going to retrograde on March 1st. We will have Venus station retrograde at 10 degrees of Aries and move back to 24 degrees of Pisces, and Venus will station direct on April 12th. So we have 1 week between the Mars retrograde and the Venus retrograde, or Mars stationing direct and Venus stationing retrograde. And keep in mind that Venus retrogrades in the same sign roughly every 8 years. Every 8 years, Venus will retrograde in that same sign. Also, for my fellow Canadians, we have, which I get into in the 2025 Canadian forecast, but January 2026, we are going to have a similar alignment to the trucker convoy, where we had a Venus-Mars conjunction in Capricorn, which is actually in, with this new birth chart I'm using, is actually in the 10th house of government, leadership. We have that again coming up, this Venus-Mars conjunction, in January, so in 1 year. So it'll be interesting to see what plays out. I'm going to get into all those energies. I plan on recording this forecast today, now that I've fixed all my charts in my forecast. But this forecast has 30 slides in my presentation, so I'm super excited to record it and get it all out to you all. But yeah, we have a similar Venus-Mars conjunction in Capricorn, January 2026. So that's kind of interesting. It'll be interesting to see what goes on with our government this year, and then that will determine what that energy is going to bring. So on Wednesday, we will enter our full moon in Leo Wednesday morning. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, we have our moon in Leo. We want to tap into that creativity. Once we get to Wednesday, we've got the full moon, and then the moon is going to enter Virgo mid Wednesday, I would say. It's I would say afternoon on Wednesday, the moon is going to enter Virgo. And this shifts the energy a little bit. This is where we are more detail oriented. This is a great time if you have any work to analyze or cleaning or organizing. I always like to clean and organize during a moon in Virgo transit. So this is a great time for that. However, we want to watch for criticism of ourselves, of others, because that's also that kind of lower energy of Virgo. We can become too fixated on the details and too fixated on things that we want things to play out a specific way or go a specific way. And if they don't, we feel like, and it really is because Virgos want to be of service. Like, I'm a Virgo rising. Yes, I have energy in Leo and Taurus, but I'm Virgo rising. And my mother was a Virgo. So I know about these Virgo energies. And it really is because Virgos always want to be of service. They always want to help others. And they don't necessarily step in to be like, I know what's best because I know it better than you. It's more like, I know how to do this, and so I want to save you from maybe problems you may create by not doing it this way. It's always meant with good intentions, you know. So I mean, I'm sure there's some that's not, but for the majority of that energy and people, it's done because Virgos want to be of service and want to help. They want to make sure they're making your life better and easier, and this is how they know how to do it. So let them do that. You know, that's kind of like that Virgo energy. So we want to utilize that at the end of the week, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, with the moon in Virgo. And then the moon will enter Libra on Saturday. Now on Friday, we have Mercury entering Pisces. So we go from this very logical, analytical mindset and approach to our day-to-day tasks and life to now more of an intuitive, imaginative, spiritual approach and influence when we're talking about our mindset and way of communication. So I do love this for creative pursuits and projects that we are in. Again, it's kind of adding to this creative energy, which I love. Where Mercury and Pisces can become a little bit difficult is with like decision making. Sometimes I find Mercury and Pisces is sometimes hard to focus or to pay attention. It's opposite. Pisces is opposite Virgo, right? Where Virgo is very much pay attention to the details, analytical, Pisces is opposite that because it's the sign opposite of Virgo. And so when we think of approaching things in this very detail oriented way, Pisces is opposite that. So it may be hard to focus on the details. It may be a little bit difficult to, make decisions where you have to, we just become a little bit more relaxed. Like I find with Mercury and Pisces, which can be nice. And Mercury is going to station retrograde as well. We have a Mercury retrograde March 15th to April 17th. Mercury is going to retrograde with Venus from Aries back into Pisces. So Mercury is going to be approaching pre-shadow soon as well, which I'll touch on in later videos. And this is where, again, we will be revisiting contracts, agreements, and whatever has shown up around those mercurial themes and topics of our life over the next few months. That's why I keep pushing like journal, because we're in so much energy right now where anything significant showing up, we're revisiting it. There's nothing right now where if something is coming in, it's going to be settled now. It's where whatever's coming in will be revisited, will be reassessed, and we will have to come to a resolution in a couple months. We're just in that energy collectively and individually. So I really do recommend journaling. And when I come back next week, we will be talking about the Mars stationing direct at 17 degrees of Cancer. So you want to check your birth chart. And also always, pay attention to the degree points that I discuss in these forecasts and videos. And then check your personal birth chart to see if you have degree points around the degree points I discuss. And that's going to show you energy that's working with you personally that will feel a lot more intense for you maybe than other people if you have degree points at any ones that I discuss in my forecasts. And we will also be entering Pisces season. So I hope that this helps you navigate the energies for the week and gives you a little bit of a heads up. Again, check out some of the links below if you are wanting to learn how to put the pieces together in your own cosmic blueprint, aka birth chart. You can order one of those pre-recorded sessions where I structure them very much like my YouTube videos, only we go over your charts. We uncover energies and I show you how I do that so that you can learn how to kind of put the pieces together yourself and use astrology on a day-to-day basis. Also, if you want to support the work that I do, you can now buy me a coffee. There is a link down below. And yeah, thank you so much for joining me, and I will connect with you all in the next one.